Imagine being a kid and hearing that you might spend your whole life in prison. It's a big, serious deal. We're going to talk about how kids react when they're told they'll be in jail forever. TJ Lane. The Chardon High School shooting in February 2012 was a tragic and shocking event that captured the nation's attention. During breakfast at the school cafeteria, a young man named TJ Lane suddenly opened fire, resulting in the deaths of 3 students and the injury of 3 others. TJ Lane, the shooter, had a troubled upbringing without a stable home, and he was arrested shortly after the incident. What made this tragedy even more perplexing was the lack of a clear motive behind TJ Lane's actions. Despite concerns about his mental state, he was deemed fit to stand trial. Throughout the trial, TJ Lane displayed a complete absence of remorse or respect for the gravity of his actions. His behavior in the courtroom, including wearing an inappropriate message on his t-shirt and making disrespectful gestures, underscored his apparent lack of empathy. Ultimately, TJ Lane was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences for his crimes. Throughout the trial, he continued to exhibit a rebellious and unapologetic attitude. This callous behavior deeply affected the victims' families, who shared their profound grief and loss, only to find that TJ Lane showed no signs of understanding or remorse for the pain he had caused. Nehemiah Grigo. On the night of January 19, 2013, a deeply tragic and horrifying incident unfolded when a 15-year-old boy named Nehemiah Grigo committed a mass shooting that resulted in the deaths of 5 members of his own family. In a shocking act of violence, Nehemiah used 2 different weapons, first shooting and killing his mother with a .22 rifle, followed by his younger brother and then his 2 younger sisters, who were innocently crying. The horror did not end there. Nehemiah waited for his father to return home and shot him multiple times. Afterward, he even drove to church with 2 rifles in his van and told his girlfriend that his family had died in an accident. Disturbingly, Nehemiah confessed to having both suicidal and homicidal thoughts, revealing that he had planned to murder more people and engage in a gun battle with the police. However, the real shock came when he displayed disturbing behavior in the courtroom. Initially, due to his status as a minor at the time of the crime, there was a proposal to sentence Nehemiah in a family court. However, this decision was appealed, and he was ultimately sentenced as an adult in October 2015. Nehemiah pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of child abuse resulting in death. During the sentencing, despite his sister's tears, Nehemiah expressed regret, saying, "I am sorry for taking our parents and our siblings. I wish I could take it back, but the reality is that we can't." Jeremiah King. The case of Jeremiah King is both tragic and disturbing. In 2015, when King was just 16 years old, he and 5 of his friends were involved in unlawful activities, including breaking into cars and homes in Albuquerque. During this night of mayhem, they confronted Stephen Greca, a beloved bartender in Albuquerque, in his garage. Tragically, King admitted to pulling the trigger, taking Greca's life. What makes this case even more unsettling is the behavior exhibited by King and his friends during the courtroom proceedings. They were seen smiling with no apparent remorse for their actions. King's mother addressed the judge, describing her son as a good and respectful kid who had made a mistake. She vouched for his character, although it was challenging to believe, given the circumstances. However, the prosecutor highlighted King's history of unruly behavior, including drinking alcohol and using drugs without supervision. The judge ultimately sentenced Jeremiah King to spend the next 25 years behind bars, giving him the maximum sentence under his plea deal. Despite King's courtroom apology to the victim's family, the judge noted that he showed no genuine remorse. That concludes today's video. If you liked our content, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.